Greetings, 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 greetings. That's not keeping that voice up. So, it's been a while, ladies and gentlemen. But we're back with what you seem to all like, because it's two out of my three of my videos that actually have decent views that are tier list videos. And the only tier list video they didn't well was the streamed one, so I guess you don't want to watch through streams. That makes sense, even though they're the same video length. But yeah, make it a video this time. Make you all happy. Even though I didn't give a shit. Anyways. So, crack on. We also got Tristan Tate, don't worry about him. He's chilling. Out of prison. What a lad. Okay. So of course, just to start off, we've got the obvious caveman in caveman tier. Which do I need to go on? Do I need to go on? Okay. So we'll start, as always, start from F tier, move up. And instead of spending half the video, like I usually do, looking for the towers, I put them in order. It does spoil a bit, but better than me searching for towers. Anyway, we've got Mortar. Now, Mortar used to be actually alright. Mortar kept his old stats. What tier would it be? I reckon it would be a low C. Yeah, low C. Maybe mid C. Like, Mortar would be up, and then for some reason they made it dog shit. Like, the only good thing about it is its range. But does it matter that you can snipe things if you're sniping a quarter of the weakest enemy in the game's health for 10,000? It isn't even a wave 1 thing. This is... If you're playing normal, this might take you to wave 3, saving for the... Like, it's not worth it even compared to Flame Turret. It's competition. For 250 coins. Just... Listen, right, if you've got coins, save up for Cyber Scorpion if you need a tower that badly. Me personally, I'd save for Pandora, save all the way, but if you've got to buy a tower for coins, Cyber Scorpion's way better than Mortar. Next, we've got Wrestler. Wrestler's ass. So mid-game track towers are some of the worst. Like they have to be really good to shine, and Wrestler's the worst of them all. Like, it's quite expensive. Like, it's not like really expensive, but it's more expensive than you'd think for how ass its damage is. Right, it's just bad. Anyway, next we've got Flame Turret. Now, if Flame Turret had range, it'd be like high airflow D. But they also gave this tower. This tower's always had, well, like, is this thing's range 50 or 60? I'm pretty sure it's 60. I hope it's, for its sake, I hope it's 60. But yeah, you kind of don't have much range on this, especially like, and some things that's like Cyclops. You can make do with it, even though Cyclops are a bit better. Like, you can make do with it. You can't make do with Flamethrower. So it doesn't do the damage. I'm pretty sure it's tier 5. Does basically the same as tier 1 Cyclops. That's why Cyclops' range is a disadvantage, but it's not that bad. Because it actually does damage. This thing doesn't do damage. No. Speaking of not doing damage, We have Jeep. And while we're here, we have Jeep, but with 10 placements. Yeah. These the Jeep's the starting tower, and they made a second Jeep. But I mean, it's slightly better than Jeep, but that's not saying much because it's the fourth place tower, so it's the fifth place. But yeah, Jeep really doesn't do much. It used turn, I think, if anything, it got both. But for some reason, it just kind of asked now. Hmm. Yeah, it's just kind of sad reality check for Jeep. Now we've got Robosaurus, who I don't remember when it was, but at some point in Robosaurus's lifespan, they just randomly cut its DPS in half for like no reason. Because uh, yeah, they just cut its DPS in half for no reason, and since then it's been ass because pretty sure it's 10k to play. It's an early game tower, which for an early game tower, 10k to place is not only expensive, but also when you only get 40 damage out of that, like come on. I know it has a 7 limit, but that's like that only comes in handy when you've actually got cost efficiency or a good late game, which this thing has neither. It has 400 damage on its tier 5, and it definitely has no cost efficiency. Anyway, now we've got the first of the PvP dragons. Wow, the rarest towers in the game. Wow. That's lovely, that is. Anyway, he's bottom 7. Like, didn't they nerf him, like, really badly for no reason? It was around the same time as Robosaurus. They just liked nerfing towers for no reason, and Magma Dragon was one of them, I think. And clearly that didn't go well for him. He's way too expensive for too little damage, and he attacks way too slowly. Like, if he had attack speed 1, it'd be bad, but maybe not, maybe not as bad. You know what I'm saying? Like he'd be bad, but he wouldn't be that bad. Next we've got Wrestler, but they gave him a gun. I mean, having a ranged attack's nice, unless your name's G, because it only gets it on its last 2 tiers. Squid Soldier, though, I mean, it makes it a good amount better than Wrestler, but that doesn't mean much. Yeah, it's just kind of ass. Uh, yeah, we've got Jurassic Orb. This was another tower that, like, it is similar to Jeep, where it used to be good. I don't know what happened to it, but it's now kind of ass. Like, even as far as mid-game track towers go, it's they. I remember once they changed its like, I think they made it cost more, like 5k more on each tier for no reason. Like, it's doing all right, but like they made it 5k more on each tier, and then buffed then gave Cyber Scorpion the original buffs, which I understand why they gave Jurassic Orb the nerfs because it was only 500 coins. Wanted to make it a bit less good for 500, and then instantly made a 450 coin tower that's way better than Jurassic Orb ever dreamed of being. Anyway, Super Dog, just a better wrestler. Like not even with a gut, it's just a better wrestler, which like doesn't mean much. Now we've got Cyber. I'm pretty sure I've pinpointed what it does now. Like I thought it would do more because it used to, but for some reason they also nerfed it, even though it was already like a D tier tower. Like it was already ass, and then they made it more ass because they felt like it. Like it was never good. Like at least Jurassic Orb was kind of good, and maybe Rubsaurus and Magma Dragon at the time of the DPS fix back in God's Update would have been a bit deep, like really good. But Cybet was never good. They just made it bad. Anyway, now we've got Scientist. Scientist is like it's got very weird prices. Like its first couple prices are really cheap, and then it just gets weirdly expensive for no reason. And it does surprisingly low damage. It has very low damage output, but like it's better than something like I'd rather have it than Mortar just because it's cheap. I'd rather have it than Flamethrower because it not only cheap, it's also got good range. Like it's got somewhat decent range. It doesn't need good range, it needs somewhat decent range. And it can do that. It's still actually looks like I'm enjoying doing this video. Now, I know I haven't been here a while. I know I haven't been here in a while, but I have after this one I have two videos that I'm working on. One of them's just a normal video, and then one's very, I won't spoil it, but one is a very surprisingly decent video. Well, I hope it's going to be. I'm in the working. It's going to take a while to sort out. It's in the working, so hopefully it goes well. I have no idea how it's going to, if I'm even going to be able to get it sorted, but it'll be a decent in my standards. Now I've got Mystic Mage, who also I think got its DPS halved. Like not halved, but I think it got its DPS lowered. Similar to Robosaurus. Except it's just better than Robosaurus. It's just a better version of Robosaurus. I think it handled that. Now, Kit Kat, the dastardly fella, put this thing in S tier because of its usefulness. Because it's very good if you buy it for sacrifice. Yes, 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 yes. Now, counter argument: who the fuck sacrifices nowadays? Just sell it. Jesus Christ. And even then, like, yes, you'll buy Mystic. Like, why would you spend your 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 coins on sacrificing? Because the thing is, there's a very solid chance you just get more. Unless you're like really, really desperate for gems, you don't need to sacrifice. Anyway, now we've got eggheads. I don't even remember their stats. I just remember that they go here on the team. I genuinely don't. I think their last tier is 600 DPS. The starting cost 10k, just like 60 or something. Man, I don't know. I'm not going to pretend I don't know. Now, this one's the one. There's a minor chance I get flamed for. But think about it like this. Thoth's got decent stats on paper. It's got like low A tier, high B tier stats on paper. But the issue is, does it matter if it's not going to hit anything? It doesn't hit it because it takes 4 seconds for its attack to hit. And like I don't mean like it takes 4 seconds for its attack. I don't mean it's about its spawn time. I mean its animation starts when it locks onto the enemy. And then its attack doesn't follow the enemy ready for the attack. No, it readies the attack, waits 4 seconds, and then goes. The enemy's gone. The enemy he's running. He's gone. You're dead. Where was your attack, buddy? He's run. He's gone. You missed. Now, got Diamond Effect. We've got Iron Man. Now, Tony Stark. He's not very good in World of Thunder, I'll be honest. Yeah, that's all I've got to say. He's not good. He's got very weird damage numbers also. I think his last year like 396 for no reason. I now that some usually when they do weird numbers instead of just base numbers, that means it's based around their attack. Like if something has three beams or something, then it'll have to be a multiple of three because each beam has to they'll want each beam to not do a decimal value. Like it'll have like 999 damage instead of 1000 because each beam would do 333. But Diamond Defender has four beams, so 99 on each hit. Why can't it just be 400? 100 a beam. Why? Anyway, Cyber Ninja. This is just Little Lizard and Crazy Clown. Except they made it more expensive for no reason. Like way more expensive. And also some of its tiers are the worst in the game. Like I'm pretty sure it's tier 2 literally gains 250 health for like on a mid game. Like you're meant to be expecting on a tower like this, even at this low on the tier list, at least like a K, like 1000 from that kind of a tier. But no, you get 250. Like it's just sad. Anyway, Red Orc, the only tower that gets worse when you upgrade it. Its tier 2, I think, is better than its tier 3. Because for some reason, its tier 1 and 2 uh, are like decent for this. Like, if its tier 1 and tier 2 ain't doing nothing up here, they ain't got nothing to do with it. But if its last three tiers were as good as its first two, then it'd be like C to B. But unfortunately for Red Orc, it's tier 3 and 4 instead of 30 spawn time have 50, and then its tier 5 has 60. Why? Does he need to get a shower when he grows up? He needs a shower. He takes longer to get out of the house. Jesus Christ. Anyway, Lucky Leprechaun is just a bad version of Snowman. Like it's meant. I remember it was meant to have an effect where it's like, oh, it has a chance when plays to double your money from the end of it, and then they couldn't figure out how to make it work, so they just scrapped the idea, and now he's bad. The Super Soldier. Oh, wow, Jesus Christ, 20 minutes. That's a whole other person's tier list video. Jesus Christ. Because I actually talk. Anyway, Super Soldier is just a worse version of Tiny Turtle. Skeleton Army. It's it's weirdly big, first of all, and it doesn't do much. It's too expensive, kind of mid placement limit. It's way too big. Like it's just a weird tower. It's just final one in F tier, Dragon Ram. Dragon Ram is just spawn time. It takes longer. This is the girl that tells you she's going to take 5 minutes putting a makeup on. But you know, I get all the women. Look at me, I'm beautiful. Definitely getting up. I'm only joking. So yeah, quite disappointing. Really. Is it like especially because you look at it's 100k health and like, wow, that's really good. Then you realize things nowadays, track towers nowadays, if they want to be good, they at late game, 100k is a deadline unless they have like attack speed, unless they have like spawn time 10 and good placement limit. This thing's got spawn time like 50 on its DFO. Like, it's just not special. Anyway, tactical tank, right? It's like the baseline for bad mid-game projectiles. It's as D tier as you can get. Even though it's bordering on F tier, it's as D tier as you can get. Polar Bear, just a slightly more expensive Tiny Turtle. And Village Hunter, who's better version of Lucky Leprechaun and a lot worse version of Snowman, and then a lot worse version of pretty much all 7,500 to place towers. Yeah. They weirdly nerfed him at some point, and then didn't nerf Snowman, who at the time was literally the exact same as him. It's basically a carbon copy. But they nerfed Village Hunter and didn't nerf Snowman. It was weird. Anyway, Little Lizard is a mid-game strat. It is the quintessential mid-game strat. I mean, Crazy Clown is a slightly cheaper. Oh wait, yeah, I forgot the order. Crazy Clown does slightly less damage late game, I think, but is a bit cheaper. So it balances out. They're around the same. Anyway, Ninja Girl's a bit too expensive and has nothing really going for her other than I remember a tier 4's good. Other than that, there's nothing. It's nothing great. It's nothing incredible. Like it's special things meant to be. Oh, it's fast, but that doesn't matter at all. Like doesn't matter. Speed on track towers is probably the least important stat in all of World. Other than the HP on something like Santa's Sleigh, which is right now. Santa's Sleigh is too expensive and doesn't do a great. It doesn't do good. It's like AOE towers done wrong. The AOE before AOE, and it didn't really go well. So now we've got Tiny Turtle, who's similar to Little Lizard, but he's a range tower, which range towers tend to be better than track towers. Yeah. Next we've got Javelin Knight, who is too expensive for too little. Like it's meant to be a late game tower, but it's not got the damage to back it up. Next we've got Piggy Bank, gives money. It's the worst money tower. It gives money once every 2 waves, which is too unreliable to be any good. Like it's fine, but it's too unreliable. Next we've got Ice Dragon. Ice Dragon is well, it's better than Tiny Turtle, but it attacks slow. But it's not better than Love Stealer. Next we've got Sniper, who people be sleeping on Sniper. Like I understand the ways you get it is either 75 coins or level 3. Like it's not a hard tower to get, and people say like, oh, it's trash Sniper. No, Sniper's got sauce. He's got a surprising amount of sauce for 75 coins. I always buy Sniper. Oh, well, I don't actually. I always keep it when I get on level 3. Most people try and get rid of it through sacrifice or heaven forbid selling because no one's gonna buy a Sniper because the cheapest you can buy something for is 100 coins, and this you could just buy it from the shop for 75 coins. Now I've got Lovezilla, who is pretty good, I would say. Why did I say it's pretty good? I was just starting now though. Is better than Tiny Turtle. It's got an absolute decent tier. What like it's all right. It's all right. Next we've got Met. Christmas chimney. It's a. I can't remember its stats off the top of my head, but trust me, okay, trust me on this one. D tier. It's got airstrike. It's a cheaper version of Santa Slow, but that doesn't mean much. As we've got Crazy Goblin, its advantage is he's got bear range for no reason. But other than that, it's just kind of this Lovezilla Tiny Turtle type tower where it's like it's D tier, but it's got range on it. That boy can shoot far. Anyway, we've got Tri-Tank, who is a very cheap version of Dragonron, which allows for like sell, replace, sell, replace, sell, replace to get around the spawn time. But even then, there's better towers for that. Like that job's not very useful because that ain't gonna work for long. It's got Hero Ship. It just fly. It's got decent range, actually very good range. And it's got similar stats kind of to this Lovezilla Tiny Turtle Polar Bear type tower. Same with Hellate, but well, Hellate has is just a more placements version and more cost efficient tier 4, I think. We'll put Visit in between them. Now, Visit is the first money tower. It used to be really good. Now it's just kind of bad. You don't need bunny towers anymore, and if you do, there's a lot better money towers. Next, we've got Undead Dragon. The last of the PvP dragons. We've got Magma, Ice, and Undead. Now, Undead, I think very much needs. It's the rarest tower in the game. It is high D tier. That's how you know it ain't looking good. That's how you know it's not looking good. Do you know what I want to see for Undead? I want to see what they did with Golden Dragon, where they made it attack speed 2 instead of attack speed 0.5, so that's quadruple the damage. I want to see Undead be goated. T-Rex. It's I'm not gonna lump it in with Tiny Turtle and stuff because it's a lot more expensive than them. I wouldn't call it a late game tower, but I wouldn't call it it's like a weird in between of late and mid game because yeah, I'd say it's more mid game, but it's like on the more expensive end, so it's a bit weird. Next we've got that's the end of D tier. Now we've got Cyber Dragon. Cyber Dragon is just kind of better than T-Rex. It's just kind of a better version, but not by much. Then we've got Pirate Ship. Well, we're getting into the late game. We've had a couple late game tracks, right? We've had Dragon Realm, we've had Ninja Girl. Now we've got Pirate Ship. Pirate Ship is kind of just mid, but it would be D tier, but he has a little he has a gun. Well, it's a cannon, but he has a cannon. He's got a range attack, which is always good on a tractor. And he's got Super Santa, kind of a worse giant Cyclops wherever I put wherever giant Cyclops is. Kind of giant Cyclops with a bit ass. Actually, I put him higher than. I think I ranked him too low. I'm going to speak about these two. Now, first we've got Dragon Cannon. This is just better Cyber Dragon. Next we've got Spectre Rider, another late game track tower. It's a bit too expensive for my liking, but it has solid HP. It's too expensive though to be like B. Next we've talked about Super Santa. Then we've got Haunted Knight. Haunted Knight is just better than Triceratops Tank at its job because it's got a really good tier 1. So that's really good for cell replacing. If it didn't have tier 1, it would be like down here. Like high F, low D. Because of its really, really good tier 1, I think it is C. It's got Super Defender. This is the best of the bad versions of Tiny Turtle. Like there's better versions. This is the best of the shitters. Actually, I lied. Because Aqua Shark. Dragon King is the late game range tower that's just too expensive for its own good. Too expensive. And it's got Mecha Santa. And it's got really good range on a range track, like its range attack, which for a track tower is really nice. To have a range attack, especially a very it's got the best range in the entire game, but that doesn't help much when it's only 600 damage for its range attack. But I mean, it's alright. It's alright. It's alright, man. As we've got Aqua Shark. Now this is even better than Super Defender, but I still like Super Defender. Yeah, that's all I really have to say about Aqua Shark. 10 placements though, really nice. Roboraptor. Roboraptor. He's got quite a few buffs in his day, but they haven't helped enough to make him actually good. Yeah, really. Next we've got Pumpkin Pirate. I remember this thing was bugged once, where it was really good. It wouldn't be insane now, but it was really good for a moment. And then they fixed him, and he was shit again. Well, not shit, but mid. We've got I'd say shitters, mid, pretty good, meta. This is the meta. This is pretty good. This is mid. This is shit. Well, I'm not sure if you can see my mouse. Follow my mouse point. I mean, K and meta, SNA, pretty good. B and C, mid, DNF, shit. Next we've got Electra. He's quite cheap for the type of tower he is, which is late game range, but it doesn't do enough damage to be really good. He's got Cyber Scorpion. Now this is the best. I really like this for 450 coins, but in the grand scheme of things, it's just a lot better version of something like Little Lizard. Like nothing insane, but it's definitely the outlier of the pack down here. It's got Rambo Rudolph. And it's kind of a mix of Electro and Dragon King, where it's a bit cheaper than Dragon King, but a bit stronger than Electro, but Dragon King's stronger damage and Electro's cheaper. But I think it's better than both. Next we've got Hades Soul. Hades Soul kind of does Haunted Knight's job, but slightly worse. But then it has late game elements. Like it's got actual tiers instead of just a tier 1. It's a bit better, but those tiers aren't anything insane. It's got Bunner Gunner, very good name, big fan. Now, this is only good because it has 6 placements. It's kind of like Rambo Rudolph, but Rambo Rudolph, you can place 3 of them, place 6 Bunner Gunners. Next, we've got a good Power Giant Cyclops. It's very similar to Super Santa, but it's just better. It's just a lot more cost efficient. This is just, it's got 10 placements, decent damage, very cost efficient. Solid. They've got the pumpkin. It's got the pumpkin riders. Yeah. Decent late game track. Like it's a lot cheaper than a lot of late game track towers, but it's alright. Clever Pamper. It's surprisingly cost efficient, and 4 placements is kind of nice. Like it's better than something like Rambo Rudolph. And it's got satellite laser. This thing just has really good range. It's decent. It's somewhat cost efficient, and it does decent damage, I guess. is better than something like Cyberpunk. And then closing out our CTO, we have Frozen Mama. This thing is similar to something like Pumpkin Riders, but it has 25 spawn time instead of 30. So that's pretty nice. Yeah. I've got my favourite Coughing Cruiser. Yeah, no. He may be rolling up in a fresh whip every day, but he's kind of mid. Like he's all right for a late game track tower, but especially because he has a ranged attack. But yeah, as we've got the first new tower, which I bet you would expect to see one as low as second worst B tier, but yeah, Skullcon ain't great. It's not looking good, kid. It's not looking good. He attacks too slowly. He just attacks too slowly. Okay. And two placements. Yeah, no. Ain't looking good for Skullcon. It's got the Golden God. Wait, not to be confused with Golden God, this is the Golden God. Got a very important title. Now, like got some cost efficient to him. He's got 5 placement. He's got an early game to him, so you can use him as an early game, I guess. But I mean, early to late game tower, decent placements, decent cost. Like he's like. As we've got Indom. They fixed Indom's bug, but unfortunately Indom has fallen back down to mid. And he's got a very good ranged attack still, but that's not enough to save his kind of tracked home. Yeah. Gargantuan God is tier 1's decently cost efficient, and then I think it's the best damage we've had so far, 25k. But his later stage of the 2 expensive. And that's only because of its placement limit. If I didn't have 5 limit, then it would be Snow Patrol. Now this is pretty decent, but he attacks way too slowly. Which got a lot better. He got better than he would be near D tier if targeting wasn't added. So now he can target strongest instead of wasting his 10-second to charge up shot on something really weak. Yeah. So because all the sacrifice gods are the fucking same, we've only got 2, and that's because Water Goddess is there to represent all other 7. Then Light God has slightly more range, so we're gonna rank him as well, just slightly above Water Goddess. He's got more range for some reason. He's the best of the sacrifice gods. Way. Anyway, they've got like cost efficient tier 1s. They're a bit expensive in the late game, but they're doing all right. They're doing all right. It's got Sentry Gun. Sentry Gun would be pretty good if its range wasn't. It's got flame turret range pretty much. Like come on, man. It's got Santa's Dragon. I mean, it's got a solid track tower built into it. It's got a decent range attack. Well, overall, it's a bit mid. Then we've got Frankenstein, who's only here because he has a placement limit of 7, which is really good. Because that gives him pretty good damage. Yeah. Next we've got Squid Doll, who is just better than the Sacrifice Gods. Yeah, that's all I really have to say. We've got Inferno. Now this is a boomer tower that's actually decent. It's the best of the old track towers, because nowadays we have. This is the best of the crappy track towers, and then we have a jump to the ones where they actually tried recently to make decent track towers.
even though none of them are in top 10. Spoiler. But now we've got Martial Tiger, who's very cost efficient. He's just nice and cost efficient. Now we've got Genie, who is a decent early. He's alright early. Pretty solid. Now we've got the Sphinx, not to be similar to the Golden God, not to be confused with Sphinx. It's the Sphinx. Okay. You gotta know that. Right. I've got Abominable Snowman, who, unlike Village Hunter, was never nerfed. He was buffed. He got more range. What a legend! Quintessential roadman. Love to see it. I've got Dragon God. He's a very solid mid game. Like his tier 1's pretty decent. His tier 5. I should have said at the beginning. I'll put in the title, but this has no rank, so Eternal Glory does not matter. Quantum Enforcer is just a better it's literally just a clone of Sentry Turret, but they made it better, but it's still not good because of its shit range. Then we've got Drakar, who is a pure early game tower similar to Tiki Hydra, but unfortunately he ain't Tiki Hydra, that's for fucking sure. Now Dracula, he's kind of just a shitty Demon King. Yeah, I'll just say he's a shitty Demon King, then I'll talk about Demon King. Mecha Robot. I like him. He's got a pretty solid tier 1. Then he's got a decent leg into him. He's not incredible, but he's got sauce. He's got sauce. Now we've got Reindeer Dragon. First Dragon Fire based tower. And he's the worst of his brothers. Yeah. My mid game tower it's alright to be fair. But he's nothing incredible. Now we've got Pumpkin Cannon. Just kind of a better version of Giant Cycler. He's a lot more he's very cheap. He's got incredible range, very cheap, and with because he has 10 placements, he does decent damage that game. Solid guy. Now we've got a new, not the new Bussy anyway. It's just a pure early game tower, which he's got very good cost efficiency to him. He's just a very solid early game. I've got Dino Hunter, the first boost tower, I think. Yeah. So how many boost towers is there now? There's 5? Dino Hunter, Art Tower, Red Reef, Galactic God, and Mindon. Yeah, I think that's all of them. Yeah, it's the worst of the boost towers, but a boost tower is a boost tower, so it's high B. Now we've got War God. Very good tier 1, but he kind of falls off a bit. Like I want to see War God buffs, kind of. Do I at this point? It's because he's just kind of a lost cause at this point. Just let the old man rest. Alright, now we've got the last of B tier, Shadow Kuma. The first Kuma. We've got 6 of them, and let me tell you, none of them are close to B. The closest you'll get is high A. Kumas are very good, but Shadow Kuma is a bit mid. Like, he's got a good mid game to him, but other than that, he's kind of he's not the greatest. Now we've got Sabak. Now Sabak, he's not got much to him. He's an AoE. He's a late game AoE, which he's not even good at that. He's just not. Like he's all right. He got some buffs. He's decent. He's not as bad as you'd think. Now I've got Demon King. Demon King he's got a decent late game to him, I guess, but he's mainly good because of this tier 1, which is really good for the mid game. And that's the same with Dracula, and War God, and Dragon God, and Squid Doll, and Light God, and Water God, and all the other 6 gods. Yeah, there's a lot. I got Red Reef. It's just kind of shitty. Yeah. Like, a boost tower is a boost tower, like I say, and he's got some cost efficiency to him in his earlier tiers, but definitely the worst of the three, like, the 3 towers that are not both attacking towers and boost towers, which, I mean, both are. I mean, that's probably the best type of tower, but he's the worst of the 3. Now we've got Pumpkin Gunner, he's got a pretty decent early game to him. Like, his tier 2 and his tier 4 are very good compared to something like Anubis, and 5 placement is good. I've got Electric Fence. Ooh. I'm a fan of Electric Fence. Like, it's not good. It's a very weird tower. I want to see them make another Electric Fence type tower, because it's a very weird tower. He is very fun to use, even if he's not that incredible. Now I've got Slither. Wow, another tower that's only good because it's got a good tier 1. Would you look at that? Good mid game tier 1, right there. Alright, Bunny Ranger. It's just kind of decently cost efficient and everything, and has decent, like, yeah. Right, yeah, that's all there really is to him. Now we've got Nutcracker. Kit Kat's favourite tower. Well, not really. Conrad's favourite tower. There we go. Yeah, it used to be the best tower. Now it's kind of not, because that'll happen. 1 second, my computer's about to run out. Let me just real quick. Fine. Plug. I know mine. I was already plugged in. Well, I was plugged into the socket, not into my laptop. There we go. Nice, lovely. Okay. Astra Army. Now it's pretty good early game track. I'll be honest. It's all right, especially compared to something like Jeep. Like, it's a big jump from Jeep, but that doesn't make it S tier. Now Ragod, he's only here because he has AoE. Like, he's so shit, but because he hits everything around him, it's like good. Because if he shoots a few times, he can take out a bunch of weak enemies. If he gets to shoot a few times, which with 3 he can place 3, I think. It's, I think, 3 placements. You'll be able to take out some weaker enemies with it. Now we've got Fred, who is just kind of better than Bunny Ranger. Yeah. They buffed him and then they nerfed him for no. Like, I understand he was like pretty good for how easy he was to get, but like, he wasn't anything overpowered. And right now, 2,500 coins, you can just get a top 10 tower in Pandora. Like, that. They clearly don't care enough about that. That's for sure. Anyway, Snow Beast. This is a tower I really like, which is the late game, early game. That might sound a little counterproductive. I'm going to move the tier up a bit so that you can actually get to the tiers instead of having to drag it and then scroll up. I'm just going to dump B tier up here. Because B tier doesn't deserve anything. Fuck you, B tier. Anyway, Zeus. Did I talk about the last time? Oh yeah, Snow Beast. What happened to Zeus? Why am I clicking on DT? Where? Oh, Zeus has just dropped. Okay, Snow Beast. So he's got a decent early game, but then he's also got a solid late game. I think he might be the strongest late game so far. Like he's got a very good late game to him, but then he's also got he's got a pretty decent early game, which is also so you can use him as your early game tower in something like infinite mode, and then and basically you have 6 towers for the late game instead of 5 and then an early game tower. So you can use him as your early game tower, but he's also a late game, which is always nice. I remember using him for Nightmare Tomb when Nightmare was released, which I think I was the first to beat that map, I'm pretty sure. And that was because the late game was very difficult on that map, because you have limited slots, right, on your team. Like, you'd want Medusa, you'd want Pandora, you'd want Golden Dragon, but then you'd eventually run out of late game. And because most people ran Cyclops was there early because Cyclops was broken, and if it wasn't for Tiki Hydra, still would be even after all these months. He's lasted a while, to be fair, Cyclops. Most towers don't last that long, isn't there? But yeah, I used Snow Beast as my early game and then beat it, and then I started struggling again for some reason on that map. So then I used Orc Beast, which is even worse early game, but an even better late game, and I started winning. That was fun. What a time to be alive. Anyway, we've got Zeus now. Now Zeus, I want to say he's similar. He's another. Oh, he's got a good tier 1 for the mid game, so that means he's pretty decent. But like his later tiers are alright, so I'm gonna put him a bit higher than something like Slither, even if Slither has the better tier 1. Now Snow Owl is Anubis, but he has 5 placements, and he has a good tier 4, and his other tiers are slightly better. Like he's just Anubis, but better in every way, but not by enough where it's OP. Now I've got Sekhmet. Sekhmet is a really cool idea for a tower, with infinite poison, but and AoE, so it spreads the poison very easily. But it just doesn't do enough for me. It just doesn't. And we've got Cobra King. He's got a decent early, but it's nothing crazy, and his late game's kind of mid. Good cost efficiency on its tier 5 though, I will say. I've got Rambo. I don't think I've ever used Rambo before in my life, but I think his tier 1's cost. Ooh, another good tier 1. And then he's got a decent late game. Like, it's not the insane late game, but he's got a decent one. But he's got a good tier 1. And that's what matters. And we've got Skeleton Beast now. Skeleton Beast is less damage than Cerberus, which means he's lower. But he's got good range, so he stays decent. I remember when you used to be the best tower as well. More a time to be alive. And we've got Galactic God now. Galactic God would be much higher if he didn't. Same with Red Reef and yeah, if they didn't replace buffs, because you can't actually use this with another boost tower, because this is the weakest boost in the game, Galactic God, and you can't use him if you have something like Orc Tower on your team, because it will replace Orc Tower's boost, which just makes your tower upgrading Galactic God to tier 4 makes your towers worse. Like, it's very weird. I don't like it. Now, Santa's Toy, very solid later game. I think the best so far. No, Snow Beast I think is a bit better. Yeah, he's got a very good late game, and because he's 15k to place. You can use him as an early game tower if you could, but not a very good early game tower, and it's late game. It's nothing incredible. Now we've got Cerberus, pretty good early game, but nothing special late game, and it's just nothing special in general. Now we've got Night Prowler, one of the goats. Now, yeah, Night Prowler's got a very good mid game, quite cost efficient. That's surprisingly. Well, not really surprisingly, but he's got a decent mid game because he's cost efficient. That's all there really is to it. But he's not as good as his two brothers, which are coming up. Now we've got Reptice. It's very similar to Snow Patrol, which we had earlier, except he does a lot more, and he does it faster. So does it in every 5 seconds, every 10. But that's still not fast. Now, yeah, that's like, he's got a very good late game, 31,000, because he has 30,000 and his 1k damage over time effect. So, like, he's good. We all thought he was going to be AoE at first, which would have been really good. That's still, if it was AoE, it would still, it would, without ranks, which this tier list would be, it would probably be number 1. But with ranks, God Kuma would be better. Because of Eternal Glory. Now we've got Snowball Dragon. It's a bit less cost efficient than Night Prowler, but because it has 5 placements instead of 4, its late game is a lot better. So I think it's a bit better. Now we've got Rocket Rex, who is so... I don't get why people say Rocket Rex is good. Rocket Rex is ass. Well, he's A tier, so I wouldn't say it's ass, but he's very overrated. He attacks slowly. He doesn't do much damage. He doesn't do much damage late game. He's quite expensive, not cost efficient. Like, overall, he's just kind of bad. Now, Zombie Rex got a solid buff at the start of the Mute event. It was a ghost buff. Like, they didn't tell anyone it got buffed, but it did. And it was pretty good buffs, but nothing that made it crazy. Just kind of they now made it decently cost efficient, and they also gave it a lot better of a late game, but nothing insane like, yeah. And they also never gave it its poison effect back. Bring back poison, man. Actually, they actually did bring back poison. They didn't give it back to Zombie Rex, who it originated. Like, the original tower that had poison was Zombie Rex, then they took it away when they removed damage over time effects. And then they brought back damage over time effects and gave Mutant Indom. In the exact same event, Zombie Rex got buffed. They gave it poison, but they didn't give Zombie Rex poison, which is just mean. Anyway, Banana Kong, the tower that I designed. Shush, Conrad. I hope Conrad watched this. I hope Conrad saw me say that. Shush, Conrad. It is my tower. It's mine. Well, I'll sell it. Conrad redesigned my tower, and then it got added. Conrad redesigned it, and that design got chosen, but he got the idea he got the design idea from me. So I say it's my tower, but it is technically Conrad's. Because he's a lot better of an artist than I am. Then we've got Verdant Kuma, who's just better than Zeus. He's just a better Zeus. He's alright. Then we've got Parrot Dragon. It's just kind of the best of both worlds with Snowball Dragon and Night Prowler. It's got it's got the cost efficiency. It's got similar cost efficiency to Night Prowler. It may be even bit better, but it's also got the 5 placements of Snowball Dragon, which makes Snowball Dragon a decent late game. And we've got Hercules, who is just kind of just a lot better than Nutcracker, because he's got more placements, more damage, more cost of he's doing good for himself. And we've got Astro Juggernaut, who got nerfed when they changed the tower things, because they did some weird stuff with him. Astro Juggernaut stats have always been weird. But yeah, now he's got a bit worse early game than Hercules, but then he's got a bit better late game, so I put him a bit better because I like late game towers. Now we've got Aqua Hydra. The first, actually, I was about to say the first Hydra. That Red Reef. Yeah. Aqua Hydra is just very, very good. Well, not really. He's cost efficient in his earlier tiers, but then he has decent late game, I guess. Then we've got Cactus Jack, who has an early game, and he has a very cost efficient tier 5. That puts him the top of A tier. Now, we're going to send A tier up into the heavens. Talk about S tier and top 10. Now, to start it off, we've got Orc Beast. Orc Beast has an early game. I'm not going to say it's a very good early game, but it's got an early game. And then it has a very good late game for being an early game tower. Like 36k, very good range, decent cost efficiency. He's doing alright for himself. Next we've got Tiki Shrimp. Way. He's just a better Hercules. Now I've got Mutant Spider. I don't remember its stats or not. I don't think I've ever used Mutant Spider. But he's here, trust me. Now we've got Vulcan Rex. Vulcan Rex has a very good tier 1. So it's got a very good early game, and then it's got a decent it's got a decent late game, pretty cost efficient. Yeah, very solid. And it's got Scuba Kong. Scuba Kong. It's got a decent tier 1, somewhat good late game. I'm pretty sure it's like what, 34k late game, which is good. And it's got a very good tier 1 for the mid game, and tier 2 is just quite cost efficient and that's decent damage. Then we've got Buddy Bomber. It's only here because of its wow, another tier 1. So this time it's a track tower. So it's kind of got the old Haunted Knight Triceratops tank idea, where you sell replace, but he's a lot more expensive, but he has something like 5k health, like Haunted Knight. He's got 16k with a ranged attack. That's why he's the GOAT. The GOAT. And anyway, now we've got. Hang on a minute. Brother? Is that you? Anyway. Fire Genie, he's got a good early game. And then he's got a somewhat decent late game. But I'm pretty sure it's 5k DPS, 5 placements with a damage at the time effect, but it's not a good one, it's like 150 or something. Now we've got Shadow Claw. This is Splatoon with 2 placements. Okay. Phoenix. Now, Phoenix has some would say it's got a good early game. Because it's, what, 7k play. It's got 7k to play. It's 300 DPS on average. But the issue is, I'm not a fan of early game towers that take longer than a second to charge their attack. Because at that point, like, even if you do a lot of damage, there's too many enemies in the early game. Like, you're just not going to be able to kill them all. Because you only kill what, let's say every shot you do kills. It kills something. If there's 20 enemies, that's going to take 40 seconds. You're dead in 40 seconds, mate. He's got a decent late game for an early game tower, though. Next we've got Galactic Dragon, who is a bit more expensive than your average early game tower, but he is an early game tower, and then he also has a pretty solid late game. Sorry, it's almost midnight for me. I didn't get much sleep last night, so I'm a bit tired. Anyways, Galactic Dragon, he's solid. He's got a good late. He's just overall solid at everything. Good cost efficiency, good early, good mid, good late. Like, he's good range. He doesn't attack slow. Like, he's just kind of good. Now we've got Big Bunny Blaster. Now, this is ranking him if he doesn't break your game, because it's a Roblox game, and when you shoot 40 bullets in a second with 5 of them, so 200 bullets in a second. People say Dark Knight's buggy. Well, not buggy, but laggy. Big Bunny Blaster, you need a NASA computer to use. Now I've got Holiday Kong, which I don't remember the stats of. Oh wait, no, I do. He's got a really good early game. He's got a very solid early game. He's like 5k to play or something. Good guy. Now we've got Galactic Knight, which I think just does, but he does slightly less health than Bunny Bomber, but he's a lot cheaper. It's like 32k instead of 50k. Which means he's got a very good tier 1, and then he's also got a better late game. Good night! Sorry. Now we've got King's Treasure. People will be sleeping on King's Treasure still. It's not. Don't stop acting like it's got a tier 2 through 5. It doesn't, okay? It just doesn't. It doesn't have tiers. But it does have its tier 1. And now, that tier 1, 15k to place, 8k every wave. That's a good thing for the early game. But the issue is, this is a tier list without ranks, but I'm just gonna say this, now that there's gold and might in the game, it's pretty easy to get money. But this is a rankless, to be fair, so if it wasn't rankless, it would be A tier somewhere. But fortunately it is. I got Shadow Colossus. He's just a better Galactic Dragon. I've got Money Bags. Money Bags is the best money tower in the game because it gives money to everything. So someone theoretically could just sit there grinding money with King's Treasure, like Golden Might. I know this isn't based off ranks, but there's I just need, whenever we're talking about money towers, I need to talk about Gold Might. Just Gold Might, Tiki Hydra, King's Treasure, Money Bags, and just get a bunch of money make sure Money Bags is upgraded as quickly as possible, and your teammates are just getting a bunch of money at the end of every wave. Like, just Money Bags becomes very good. Yeah. Oh, anyways, Angel Reaper, just kind of a shitty Golden Dragon God. Yeah. I got Galactic Goddess. You know what I'm gonna say, don't you? Yeah, as a good tier 1. Anyway, Boom Shack, right? It's just kind of a worse version of Sea Creature. And a worse version of... I think I'd rather have Jirogama. I'd just rather have them. Just because, yes, he has a ranged attack, but it's not a very good ranged attack. Like, he's kind of mid. Okay. Now we've got Saru. Who... His stick does very good late game. It's got, what, 3,750 DPS with all 3 players. So almost 40k. And then he's got a very good tier 1. But you haven't heard that yet. Now we've got Dark Knight. I mean, it's a full AoE tower. That's all there is to him, other than lag. There's a lot of lag as well. But full AoE tower, it's very difficult to go wrong with a full AoE tower. Now I got Jirogama. He got buffed recently. So much of Phoenix got buffed, Jirogama got buffed, Orochi got buffed, and Jirogama. I'll talk about Alien Beast as well. Now, these towers, they're not wave 1 placeable unless you play difficulty modes. But they are very good early games. And they have decent late games for track towers. The main thing is that early game and they do that pretty well. But they're a bit too expensive to be ranked higher. Now we've got a Zerkuma. This is Cyclops before he went gym. Yeah, that's that whole word. Now Alt Tower. I mean, it would still be good if it wasn't for another boost tower. He entered the arena a few months ago. Now we got Golden Dragon God. This is Hydra before Hydra got changed to be an E-Glory weapon. 2 placements, like decent cost efficiency, but it's mainly a late game tower, and it has 20k DPS with 2 placements, so 40k. Which is alright, to be fair. Now we've got Sea Creature. Sea Creature, I think it's just a better version of Strogoma. Like, it's not cheap enough where you'd usually choose it as your early game, but he's got a very good early game, and then he's also got a really good, like, surprisingly good late for a track tower. If there wasn't another track tower, well, it would be very, very surprisingly good for a late game track tower. Which track towers are usually just better than range towers, but range towers have better stats usually. Captain Kong. What? Captain Kong. Yeah, he attacks quite slowly. He's not very cost efficient. He's just kind of alright. 3 placements. I think it's 45k DPS still. Anyway, we've got the Fall of set. Now, if you want an early game tower, you use Tiki Hydra. If you want an AoE late game, you use God Kuma. And if you really need, and the issue is with an early game AoE tower, is the enemies, unless you're playing on normal difficulty, are just too fast. They're too speedy. So Set will just miss them like Thoth, but not nearly as bad as Thoth. If people used Thoth on Nightmare, that thing would hit something a minute. That 10 things would get past before Thoth would even consider attacking. Now Hydra got changed a bit to be an E-Glory weapon, but them in the process made it quite cost efficient. They fused the 2 placement into 1 placement, but it did a lot more. But this isn't about ranked, so it ranks, so Unfortunately, we have to at some point let the old man rest. We can't keep buffing him, man. Just let the old man rest. Now we've got Radiant Kuma. Some people, like a gentleman known by Vanity, considers Hydra better than Radiant, which I still don't understand. Because the thing is with a late game tower like Radiant or Hydra, is you will have other towers. I can understand being better than Galactic Emperor, but I mean Galactic Emperor being better than it, but not Hydra. Attack speed doesn't make the attack speed different. I don't think makes up with 10,000 damage, but 50k is only really incredible with E-Glory, but without E-Glory it's still pretty good. Next we've got the tower that fell off a bit, Golden Dragon. It's still, in my opinion, the best mid-game, but mid-game towers have become less and less important. Because the thing is, you don't need the best of the best when it comes to mid-game towers. You don't need Golden Dragon. So why would you use Golden Dragon when its late game's not incredible? Like, it's got a good late game, but it's not anything it's not anything special. Like, you'd just rather use Tiki Hydra. Yeah, that's all there is to it. You'd just rather use Tiki Hydra. Because then you don't have to use an early game tower and a mid game tower. You'd just rather use one. Now, Galactic Emperor is an E-Glory weapon, but we're not talking about ranks. So it's just a better Hydra. You understand what Galactic Emperor can do. Now I've got Cyclops. The fall of Cyclops? Whoa, that's crazy. Anyway, Cyclops is an incredible early game. Like, it's such a good early game, but now Tiki Hydra exists. So there's no reason to use Cyclops, so I can't really put in the top 10. Now, we have Coral Hydra. Coral Hydra is just Hydra, but better. Now we've got Crabzilla. Crabzilla is an incredible tower. It's got pretty decent mid game on it, but what I like is that it's around 45,000 damage. No, it's like 46 point 46.6, right? Yeah, probably. 46.6 recurring 1,000 damage on a track tower. Now that's based. I'm a big fan of the old Crabzilla, not gonna lie. Now we've got Kraken without Eternal Glory. It's just the top of S tier. With his little that's all weird pigeon. Alright, to start off top 10, we've got the 10th best tower without ranks. Inferno Kuma. Inferno Kuma is surprisingly cost efficient. 60,000 damage. That's the best yet, right? Yeah. Easily. Like, 60,000 damage is nothing to scoff at. Very cost efficient. He's just very good. Now we've got Pandora's Box. A bit of a fall, but he's very cost efficient. He's an early game tower that does 39,000 damage late game, which isn't anything incredible, but it's nothing bad. Especially for that cost efficiency. Free placement is good. It attacks quick. Lovely. Now we've got Orochi. Orochi is similar to a Inferno Kuma, but its cost efficiency is more focused on the mid game instead of a bit later on. And it also does 63,000 instead of 60,000. So I think Orochi is just really good. It's not Golden Dragon levels of cost efficiency, but it's good, and it's got a very solid mid game where you'll survive in mid game, and then it's also got 63,000 damage late game, which is one of the best late game towers. Speaking of one of the best late game towers, we've got Splatoon. Splatoon is 7th, yeah, because Orochi's 8th. Splatoon is 7th. So it's got a decent tier 1. Love to see that. And then it's also got 75,000 damage in this late game, which is really good when we're not talking about Eternal Glory. Like, it's very solid. But now we've got Squid Shot, which is more cost efficient and has 78,000 damage late game, which is better. And it also works better. I was about to start talking about Battle Master. It's rankless. Okay. Now we've got the top 5. Starting off, we've got Skeletal Hydra. Skeletal Hydra is just insane. It's 15k to play, so you can use it if you gun. You can use this as your early game tower in a lot of maps, which is incredible. It does 67.5 thousand damage, so it's the 3rd best late game tower in the game, not including AoE. Behind Squidshot and Splatoon. But it's also cost efficient as fuck. Like, it is similar cost efficiency to Pandora. Like, it's just insane cost efficiency. It's an early game tower, technically. Not on a lot of maps, but on some it can be used as an early game tower if you can gun for the first couple waves. And then it does insane late game damage. It's just very good. Now we've got the best boost tower in the game, Mutant Indom. It does slight damage, very small damage, but it does damage, and then it also does poison damage as well. But then it also gives everything on 1.3 times boost, which is the best boost in the game, which you're obviously going to use a tower that gets the best boost in the game, because that's basically the best damage in the game, because it just boosts the whole loadout. In trios it's even better, because only one person has to run it, meaning you don't have to use up a slot on this. On 3 people, you can just have one person use it. So it's just an incredible tower. Now, you can say 4th in the race, but I don't think it's not. It's gone from 2nd to 1st. It's gone from 2nd to 3rd. Medusa. Medusa is a must-have for Infinite Mode. Shut up, Frog. It's incredible. It's just you all know what Medusa does. It stuns towers. I mean, it doesn't stun towers. It stuns enemies, which basically just shuts them down for a while, which is incredible for mid game when you need to shut a big enemy down. Early game as well. If there's something scary like, oh, I can't take this. I just can't take this big guy down. Then you place down 3 Medusas, make them all target strongest. That thing be stunned and just beat it down until it's dead. Because it'll stay stunned. Because there's 3 of them. No, there's 3 Medusas. Anyway, now we've got the best early game tower by far. Now, for months, Cyclops has been the best early game tower. 350,000, not, why did I say 1,000? 350 damage. With bad range, but it makes up for it with 350 damage with 6,000 to place. That's his best tier. Tier 1 is his best tier. Then we've got Tiki Hydra. Coming in 5k, so cheaper. A lot more range. I don't remember the exact range, but it's a lot. It's a very good range. One less placement, which is unfortunate. Cyclops is 3 placement, Tiki Hydra is 2. That's unfortunate bit here. And it's also very big. That's an issue with Tiki Hydra. It's a fat lad. But its tier 1 does 600 damage, which is almost double what Cyclops does. For cheaper, and it has actual range. And then it also has a lot better upgrades. Like Cyclops' upgrades are like alright, but nothing incredible. Tiki Hydras are really good, especially tier 4 and 5. They're very juicy. Next, we've got the best tower in the game. Now, it's quite hard to decide the best tower in the game when they all do very different things. I'd say the top 6 all do very different things. Bin these. These 6, I think these 6 of these 6 of the loadout I'm gonna be going with when I replace Splatoon with Squid Shot, because I'm too unlucky to get Squid Shot right now. But a load this, when it comes to without ranks, it's very hard to do a best tower, because God Kuma isn't an early game tower, and it doesn't stun, and it doesn't boost, and it's not got Skeleton Hydra's cost efficiency, and it's not as good at beating bosses. What it does do is full AoE, and so not like Set where it throws a tornado. It's like Dark Knight where its whole range is an AoE. Anything in its range all takes damage, and it does 20,000 to everything. You see this thing without Eternal Glory, which with Eternal Glory it's over the top broken fucking hell. You see this thing without a rank that's real, without any good ranks, do like, so it attacks once every 5 seconds. You see this thing do 3 million a hit sometimes. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. 3 million a hit, yeah. What's a 600,000 DPS? Mate, Squid Shot 78. 78,000, that's 600,000. Like, come on, man. Now, anyway, move the tiers back up, because we kind of did that. Now let's zoom out a bit. That's the tier list. Looking solid. Now, that's very lovely. So now we get to the funny part, right? Let's get a take one. I could edit this out, but I'm not going to, because fuck you. What, you expect me to edit this out? Yeah, no. You can skip this part, because fuck you. I ain't editing out shit. seems about right. BT has taken over my walls. The BT. Ah. Gotta fucking run before the BT takes my women. Fuck. Ah.